Hey guys, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Jenna, and this is our daily show giving you all the latest news from the world of movies, plus insight into what it all means. And joining me as always is AMC Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Hey, good morning, Jenna. Good morning,
Hello.
everybody. Greetings and salutations. It is a wonderful day. I was thinking about first world problems, and I was so angry yesterday morning because my internet was not connecting me to the websites I wanted to fast enough. And I remember I was complaining so harshly in the morning, and my wife came over and checked it, and it was perfectly fast. She goes, "What's the problem with this?" I'm just like, "You don't understand. I got to look at so many web pages." And I realized how stupid I sounded, so I stopped.
And also joining us is the senior editor of Rotten Tomatoes, Gray Drake. Hello, Gray.
Hello. Give it a rest, Campea. It's sending a signal to space.
Sometimes
Basically.
I'm shocked by how much of a whiny diva I have the potential of being at times.
Me too.
I'm trying to learn.
Not that
Oh
shocked.
my God.
All right, let's get started. Fans of anatomically disproportionate female heroes everywhere rejoice.
Woo!
It appears that the long-rumored return of Lara Croft in her Tomb Raider series is going to be returning to the big screen once again. Entertainment source Heat Vision reports that GK Films founder Graham King will head up development of the Tomb Raider reboot, and that the studio MGM has come on board as a partner in the project. This all comes on the heels of the launch of a reboot of the video game franchise, which is described as a reboot and origin story that will be the first in a new continuity. No word yet on casting or release date targets, but work is expected to get underway on the new film almost immediately. John, what do you think about a Tomb Raider reboot?
I actually, for several reasons, I think this is fantastic news. Look, let's just get the reboot debate out of the way. If you don't understand where I'm coming from with reboots, you're hopeless. So reboots are perfectly fine. They can be great. They can be good. Okay, that being settled. The reason I like the idea of a Tomb Raider reboot is, number one, there aren't a lot of really good, pure adventure movies out there. Like I can think of, National Treasure. Now, whether that was a good one or a bad one is up for debate. But films like National Treasure or Indiana Jones or things that are adventure movies. And one of the things that the Lara Croft franchise has always had going for it is that it's a sense of an adventure movie, and I love that. But also, as Amy Rose pointed out on one of last week's episodes, the lack of strong female heroines leading films is disturbingly low. And I think whenever we have an opportunity to get a popular, strong, leading fantasy adventure film character, I think that's great news. So
And
overall,
it doesn't
I like this.
hurt that she has huge knockers.
What do you think, Gray?
I think that the only thing that's disturbing me is something that I always talk about, which is, why does it have to be Lara Croft again? Like, why are we not coming up with the brand new, straight from someone's imagination character like Indiana Jones once was, right? The other movies for Tomb Raider, like the first one was pretty good, last one was not good. And so I'm saddened by the lack of creativity, although not surprised by it. However, I'm on board with this if we cast Allison Williams from Girls.
Really?
Think about that.
I don't see that at all. And I reject this notion that reboots
Uh-oh, here
mean
comes the soapbox.
lack of creativity. Look,
They do. What else do they mean?
It doesn't. Instead of lamenting, look, I've made this argument before, I'll make it again. 500 full-length feature films are going to come out this year. 500 or more.
Right.
How many of them are reboots? Not 100 of them. Less than that. I make the argument that proportionally speaking, the amount of reboots and sequels that come out today, they feel like a much larger number, but proportionally they're not that much different than
Only
they were in
because
1995.
the major studios are the ones doing them.
Sure.
So of those 500, the majority of them are small independent films that are so worth watching, but no one's going to see them. So that's the only thing that I get sad about, is that we have a studio that has an endless amount of money that chooses only to support things that have worked for them in the past. And it's not a new argument, so I'm going to just stop right there. But I am negative Nancy today because I've been on a juice cleanse for like 3 days, and I'm so upset. Oh my God, a juice cleanse and G.I. Joe retaliation.
But let me say this: instead of lamenting, which I know a lot of us do, that the studio that MGM is going to take and reboot an established, known, with an existing following character like Lara Croft, let's sit back and say, okay, good, maybe this can be the start of something. Like, instead of saying MGM shouldn't be doing this, they should be doing something else, well, then somebody else writes something different.
Yes,
somebody
please.
else write that. And I think if a movie like a rebooted Lara Croft could establish for studios that you can have strong female lead adventure films and they can work, I think that just encourages the development of those sorts of movies in the future. So I, for one, am happy.
Good.
I think that it's great.
I hope you're right, because I do know that the video game Reboot was pretty dope.
I haven't played it yet myself, but I have heard it's really, really good.
Yeah.
When Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class director Matthew Vaughn didn't land the new Star Wars gig, many fans started speculating about which project would be his next. It appears that question has been answered, and it's been announced that Vaughn will direct the film version of the graphic novel The Secret Service. It said the drama closely follows the comic about a veteran secret agent who leads a young protege into the shadowy business. One of the writers of the graphic novel is Mark Miller, who also wrote Kick-Ass, which Vaughn adapted. Gray, do Vaughn and the Secret Service seem like a good fit to you?
On paper, I say yes, because I actually don't know a lot about the Secret Service, but here's what I know about Matthew Vaughn. He's great. I love Kick-Ass. I loved X-Men First Class. I think that he does this kind of material super well. And I know what else he does well. January Joe. Allegedly. And it's been a long time since we've had like any kind of Matthew Vaughn scandal. So I say Secret Service it up. Let's get a hot girl in there. And then let's have her get pregnant, but not say who the father is.
Yeah, I mean, Gray's right. Matthew Vaughn is awesome. And actually, look, we all talk about Kick-Ass, and obviously that's amazing. We all talk about X-Men First Class. My favorite Matthew Vaughn film still to date is Stardust. I love that. To me, that's the new Princess Bride for the new generation. But he is amazing. He has worked well with Miller material before. We've seen that.
Yep.
There's no reason to believe he can't do it again. I know a lot of people were disappointed that he wasn't the Star Wars pick, but I think we're all generally happy with the J.J. Abrams pick as well. All right, folks, well, we've come to that part of the show for Buy or Sell. What's going to happen now is that Jenna has a bunch of other items in the world of movie news in front of her, and she's going to read them off, and Gray and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it.
Get my wallet out.
So, Jenna, what do we got?
Earlier today, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 director Mark Webb tweeted out a picture with the caption Day 38, a supposed rumor about the Dunder Mifflin takeover of Oscorp. In the picture was the Office star BJ Novak, who also starred in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. John, buy or sell Novak joining the cast of The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I buy this, and I buy this big for the reason that I never would have thought of BJ Novak, but he's the type of character I think would fit perfectly into this Mark Webb Spider-Man 2 Amazing universe. I mean, a lot of people don't also realize that Novak was also one of the producers of The Office, which is kind of weird to think about. But yeah, I think he's going to be a good fit, so I buy it.
I buy it too, because I don't know him personally, but as an actor and what I've seen him in, BJ Novak is a slimy, gross jerk.
Really?
So I buy it if he is playing a role like that in the Spider-Man movies, because I just can't handle him as a nice guy. He tried it on, is it the Mindy Project?
Yep.
Yes.
It just didn't get, the whole time I was like, nope, he's up to something.
Next month at the CinemaCon event in Las Vegas, AMC will host a special The Lone Ranger event in which they will screen 20 minutes of the new film for the audience, as well as a Q&A session with Johnny Depp, Armie Hammer, Gore Verbinski, and Jerry Bruckheimer. Gray, buy or sell Disney screening 20 minutes of The Lone Ranger this far in advance for an audience?
I buy it for sure, because last year at CinemaCon, I believe that was when they screened The Hobbit, and it caused a huge uproar. So I'm ready for a Lone Ranger uproar. I'm hoping that it enrages PETA people everywhere, and they're like, that crow on his head, it's being mistreated. I'm really excited to see this, and actually, this news is so good that I may go to CinemaCon in the hopes that AMC can get me a seat. Maybe Editor-in-Chief John Campia could help me with something like that. I don't know.
I'll work on that. And I also buy. Look, everybody knows I have my apprehension about the Lone Ranger because I'm having a really hard time with this pure white as snow Caucasian dude playing this iconic Native American character. But I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get over that.
Racist.
But when you're showing 20 minutes of footage, not just to industry people, but you're showing it to an audience, they're going to have 400 plus people there. To me, that suggests that Disney has confidence in this movie. And they believe the audience are going to love it, and they believe the audience are going to love it and then start spreading word of mouth. So for me, that's nothing but good news, so I buy it.
Reports were swirling around the internet the last few days that Fox Studios and Ridley Scott were freaking out over the departure of writer Damon Lindelof from the Prometheus Sequel project and not knowing where to go with the story. Lindelof responded to the rumors by stating the following: "As to whether Ridley and Fox are freaking out about me not working on a sequel, well, that's news to me. I retain awesome relationships with both. More importantly, the idea that there aren't many writers out there capable of taking the reins is sort of ridiculous. I did not map out a trilogy and then walk when the going got tough. Anyone who says otherwise doesn't know me and doesn't know the truth." John, buy or sell Lindelof's explanation of the situation?
You got to buy it. I think he's absolutely right. Look, I don't think that he said, like somebody's trying to paint a picture here that he sold them a bill of goods, that he put together this idea of a big trilogy and then suddenly ditched them with nowhere else. And all of a sudden, Fox and Ridley Scott are going crazy. Oh no, what do we do? No, that's just not the case. That's not how this type of stuff works. So I completely buy into his explanation.
I do too, because it's coming straight from the dude, and he's given us no reason to distrust him, not trust him. Juice cleanse. Did I say juice cleanse? We have no reason not to trust him, and I also love thinking about like the studio, like heads calling each other. Hey, Stuart, what's up? I'm freaking out. Like we're freaking out. They're not freaking out.
You may not have heard of the upcoming film project Laggies, but it's amassing an impressive cast. Reports have emerged that Anne Hathaway, Chloe Moretz, and Sam Rockwell are all in negotiations to star in the new film. Laggies is said to be about a 28-year-old woman named Megan who is unable to cope with the pressures brought on by her boyfriend's recent marriage proposal. In turn, she escapes into the comfort of adolescence by befriending a group of high schoolers. Wow, great. Buy or sell the idea of Laggies?
I'm gonna sell it only because I hate saying the word Laggies. I hate it. It sounds like saggy, and I do not spend an hour every day doing Brazilian butt lift to be saggy. Okay, so I love the cast though. I think that a movie like this could be really cute. You know, Anne Hathaway and Sam Rockwell, and I'm assuming Anne Hathaway would be the one that befriends Chloe Moretz.
Right.
So that's fine, but I still am going to say sell it. Find a better title, y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, I'm for some reason that I cannot explain or justify, I'm also going to sell this. This cast is remarkable, but maybe we just need to get closer. Maybe I just need to learn more about the film and really understand what it's about. But just on its surface description really isn't doing it for me. All right, folks, well, we've come to that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question that you would like us to address on air, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. And listen, you can also send us video questions as well. Just do us a favor. Make sure you keep it to about 30 seconds or less. And if you send us a YouTube link to your question, please make sure that your YouTube video is not set to private. I got about 10 of those today, and we couldn't even look at them. So email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com or send us a video question, and we'll do our very best to get them on air. Jenna's got a bunch of things pulled out of the mailbag. So, Jenna, what do we got?
Louis Perozzo writes, "Hey guys, I am a devoted follower of your show, and I think it's amazing. Keep up the excellent work. My question is regarding the news of the upcoming Transformers trilogy that Michael Bay recently announced. The issue I see here is that in Transformers 3, Megatron and Starscream were destroyed. In Megatron's case, it was the second time he died. Do you think Michael Bay is planning on bringing back these two characters? Could maybe Bay revive Megatron as Galvatron, and could a new Transformers trilogy stand without the two most popular Decepticon leaders?"
Jesus, there's going to be a trilogy?
Yeah, new trilogy.
That means, you guys, that means 3.
Yes.
3 more.
You know what? Herein lies my biggest issue with even a new Transformers movie. Why I thought they should have just rebooted the franchise. It's like, it's just not going to be Transformers to me, a lifelong Transformers fan, without Megatron or Starscream, who you kind of misused in the entire original trilogy anyway. But if you're going to have, how do you have Transformers without Megatron? Yeah, I like the idea. Look, they could use this as an excuse to transform Megatron into Galvatron, which would be fairly interesting. That would be interesting if they did that. They're talking about a new threat that comes from the galaxy. I think there's a 10% chance maybe that's Unicron, and if it is, and we all know that Unicron turns Megatron into Galvatron.
John, I think you mean unicorn.
It's surprising I didn't have more girlfriends when I was in high school. And I mean, all this is really possible, but I agree with you, man. I have a hard time picturing this. And do you bring back Megatron to life again? You've already pulled that card, so I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with this, Greg.
Yeah, I have no idea. I want a whole segment in the next Transformers movie about reviving Megatron. Like, I want to lay him on a table. I want like spark plug, you know, like I want somebody to jumpstart Megatron. But I can't imagine what else they're going to do in these movies. It's just going to be a lot more shiny things flying at your face. Yikes.
Sean George writes, with the upcoming Doctor Strange movie being in pre-production, I have heard a plethora of casting rumors. Names like Jim Caviezel, Hugh Laurie, Patrick Dempsey, Nestor Carbonell, Adrian Brody, Timothy Oliphant, Joseph Fiennes, Viggo Mortensen, Aidan Gillen, John Cusack, and Joel Edgerton. Wow, that is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Have all been rumored to be playing the iconic
So basically
role.
Everyone in Hollywood
Everyone
is
in Hollywood
rumored.
might be up for the role.
That's just some of the names. Who would you like to see in this role, and what can we expect to hear, or when can we expect to hear an official casting announcement?
Okay, Doctor Strange is all about, which is Timothy Oliphant for sure.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. He looks like he has that crazy widow's peak going on. You know, you don't even need a wig department on that. Like, I think he'd be so good. I'd love that.
I see one of the two names on this list. One, Joseph Fiennes, who I think is a treasure of an actor. I think he would fit in well. But the other guy, and I never would have thought of him on my own, I can totally see Patrick Dempsey playing Doctor Strange.
Really?
Especially after watching the animated Doctor Strange movie.
And Made in Manhattan.
Because I can totally see Patrick Dempsey, Maid of Honor. Playing Doctor Strange. I think he'd be great, and not just because he plays a doctor on TV, which I've seen 3 or 4 episodes of Grey's Anatomy in my time, but that's about it.
Exclusive.
But I really think that dude could pull off Doctor Strange really, really well, so I'd be all on board for that.
Tyler Miller writes, hey guys, I love the show and I watch you all the time. I've been hearing rumors lately that one of my all-time favorite shows, Gilligan's Island, could be seeing a big screen remake in the near future. I know shortly before he died in 2011, series creator Sherwood Schwartz signed a deal giving away the rights to the movie and was hopeful that one would be made with an expected release date of 2012. He wanted Michael Cera to be cast as Gilligan and Beyonce Knowles to be the new Ginger.
Nice.
Do you know if this is still planned on being made, and what are your thoughts on a movie version of this classic 60s sitcom?
Officially, I just want to pour some out for Sherwood Schwartz.
Yeah.
And I love this idea. I think that would be really fun. Michael Cera as Gilligan, love, love, love it. And I'll see your Beyonce, and I'll raise you Alison Brie as Marianne.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Booyah! Gray Drake out!
They already kind of did a remake of it. It was called Castaway.
Wait,
which
what?
It was called Castaway.
Instead of Gilligan, it was a volleyball.
That's right. Look, I love the idea of a Gilligan's Island movie because I think there's so many cool things you could do with that. A real tragedy kind of setting with lighthearted humor interjected into it. I think there's, chemically, there's some really cool things you could do with something like that. I really don't like the idea of Michael Cera as Gilligan.
What's wrong with you?
I am so bored of Michael Cera.
Oh.
I was so excited that he was something different in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Right.
Because I had been
Then he was
getting
in
so
Revolt.
fatigued of him playing the same guy over and over and over again. Then he did some kind of different with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I loved, and I loved him in. But I think if he did a character like Gilligan, to me, that would put him right back in that box.
Okay.
So I'd like to see, for his own good, I would rather not see Michael Cera do Gilligan. Maybe somebody else. I love the idea of a Beyonce Knowles doing something like that. I like your idea, too. That's really cool. But overall, I think the idea of a Gilligan's Island movie would be really cool. All right, folks. Well, listen, we've run out of time. But before you do anything else, and while I've got you, take a second and click that subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel to keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news and, of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show with great guests like Gray Drake. Also, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. And listen, if you want an audio-only version of this episode, look into the description of this video and you'll find links to our iTunes and our Stitcher Radio. Go on out and see a movie tonight, like G.I. Joe Retaliation, which opens in AMC theaters everywhere.
Yeah.
You can head on over to amctheaters.com for all your theater and showtime information, as well as your movie tickets. And once again, don't forget to click that subscribe button. I want to thank, as always, our lovely host, Miss Jenna Phillips.
Thanks, guys.
The one and the only, the outstanding Gray Drake.
Why, thank you. Please don't listen to the audio version, because then you won't see me get up and leave in the middle of the show. 'Cause that was awesome.
It was awesome.
And thank you most of all to you guys. Listen, don't forget, the most important part of the show is not what we have to say, it's what you have to say. Make sure you jump on down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts on any or all the topics that we've discussed today. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News. Bye-bye.